All right, welcome to Pre-Calculus Honors. Just wanted to talk through a little bit of the course design here. So you have your first folder, the Welcome to Honors Pre-Calc, where you're finding this video. Please make sure that you do fill out that first assignment. That's necessary. It's really just like your contact information, your proctor's contact information, so that I have all that on record. But then otherwise, when we're talking about the content of this course, you'll notice that everything is really laid out sequentially. So it's all in the order that I want you to do everything. So obviously you just have your chapters in order. Your semester 1 exam ends after chapter 6. And then chapter 7 through 13 is where you'll be covering the content for semester 2. Looking within one of those chapters, so if I just jump into chapter 1, you're going to notice again that this is really laid out sequentially. So it's all in the order that I want you to do everything. The chapter 1 intro is just going to have a video just like this one, where I'm just going to talk really briefly about a minute, 2 minutes about the chapter, about the layout, and then just the objectives for the chapter. Then you have your collaboration station. Your collaboration station is a discussion board where I really want you guys to try and collaborate with each other. So when you have a question on a problem, posing that question in there so that you can hear it not just from me. I'm always willing or more than willing to answer your question, but so that you can also see it from one of your peers' perspectives. The way that they're solving it or the way that they think about the content might really help you make sense of it better. After the collaboration station, you're going to have really a lot of the content of the course. So the expectation in the course is, that you do as much as you need in order to know the material. So within each one of these, you're usually going to have a video, multiple videos. You might have some graphics. So here you can see that there's a video for section 1.1. You don't have to watch that. It's just something to really focus in on to help give a little bit more instruction. You also have the book to use as a reference if you have questions, or if you want to if you're a person who likes to read what to do for a problem, then you could use the book. But you do always have a video, or in most cases have a video walking through some of the content of that section. Then you're always going to have a self-check. The only chapter that does not have this is the last chapter that you're going to cover. That self-check is really just an assessment for you to know where you stand. So it's a 10-point question, and it ranges from like 5 to 10 questions. It is, graded on accuracy and everything like that, but it at least gives you a frame of reference with, how am I doing up to this point? So this self-check is pretty late in the chapter. A lot of times it's going to be like right in the middle of it. So just trying to see, do you have foundations down before you move on? At the end of every chapter, you are going to have a chapter quiz. That quiz is not something that you need to have the proctor there for. That's just for you to take. Again, it's usually about 10 questions, but you'll take that on your own, open book, open note, calculator. Just make sure that you're showing all of your work, and then you are going to be the one who submits that to me. So going back to that main design, the semester 1 exam and the semester 2 exam are the only exams that you are going to have to be proctored. On those exams, you can still have your book out. You can still use a calculator. But you can't be using an ebook. You can't have access to the internet. And they are pretty strictly timed to pretty much about an hour. Those chapter quizzes, you're doing at your pace. So if you take longer, that's sort of up to you. But those semester exams should be about an hour. And then in terms of the level of difficulty, if we're jumping back into this, these self-check quizzes, my goal in these self-check quizzes is to see both how are you doing on those easy questions, those foundational things, and sometimes add a little bit of a rigor there because they're not super heavily weighted in terms of your overall grade. Your chapter 1 quiz is probably about a medium level difficulty. So we're looking at, not just do you know how to do the basics, but can you apply it a little bit? Do you know the little bit more intricate problems for each chapter? And then when we talk about the semester exam, that's really where you're going to be challenged to extend your knowledge and apply it. So you might have problems that just are in general forms that are not necessarily using numbers, they're just using letters. You might have questions that are just a little bit more intricate or tie multiple sections into each other. Again, nothing to necessarily panic about. You'll have an open book and you'll be able to reference that. But I really want you to just get comfortable with the idea of asking a question when you have them and really taking advantage of that collaboration station. There are points that are awarded for the collaboration station. It's not necessarily a necessity. It's just a way of getting, you might think of it as extra credit. I just think of it as like rewarding good student skills. So if you have a question, you always feel free to email me or message me through Schoology. But if you post it in that collaboration station, you might get some more points added in some category just to account for the fact that you're doing a little bit extra. And that's not just for the person who's answering the question, that's also for the person who's posing the question. So if I have a question and I post it here and it seems like it's a valid question, you're not just trying to scam the system, so to speak, then you absolutely can get some points just a little bit added in somewhere. If you have any questions about course design or anything really within this welcome folder before you get started with the content, please do, reach out to me, but really try and read through most of what's in this welcome folder first. Just go over the syllabus, how to submit work. I've put together a short little survival guide, grading policies and procedures. Here you do have all of your calculator tutorials, so different skills that you're going to have to know throughout the calculator throughout all the chapters. Policies and procedures. And then again, here is your first assignment, the first thing that I do need you to submit. Good luck. And again, if you have any questions, always feel free to reach out to me.